So hello and welcome to our Module 7, Ethernet Switching. So in this module, we're going to explain how Ethernet works in switch networks, explain how the Ethernet sublayers are related to the frame fields, describe the Ethernet MAC address, explain how a switch builds its MAC address table and forward spring, describe switch forwarding method and port settings available on layer 2 switch ports. So let's talk about the Ethernet frame. So the Ethernet operates in the data link layer and the physical layer. So it is a family of networking technologies defined by the IEEE. So we have the 802.2 logical link control and 802.3 the media access control standards. So the 802 LAN standards, including Ethernet, used to separate sublayers of the data link layer to operate. So again, logical link control sublayer or the IEEE 802.2. The purpose of this is to place information in the frame to identify which network layer protocol is used for the frame. Including na rin dyan yung anong IP address ang ginamit, IPv4 ba siya or IP version 6. We have the MAC sublayer or media access control sublayer defined in 802.3 sa wired LAN, 802.11 sa wireless LAN, and 802.15 sa wireless personal area network or Bluetooth. So this sublayer is responsible for data encapsulation or formatting ng data natin, yung pag-access doon sa media, whether wired or wireless or fiber, and provide data link addressing. Ang common na addressing ay MAC address. So the MAC sublayer is responsible for data encapsulation and accessing the media. So data encapsulation, ano ba ang nakapaloob sa data encapsulation? So the IEEE 802.3 data encapsulation includes the following. So kung i-summarize kasi natin yan, so remember sa illustration, sa illustration ng ating encapsulation, so ito daw yung header. So nandito yung header. Yan, pasensya na sa aking mousey. So we have the header. Then nandito yung laman, yung data. Ayan, so data. Anong laman ang data? It includes the IP address of the source and destination, the segment, the port number, sequence number, and then we have another field dito sa bandang huli. Ang tawagin is tinatawag ni Cisco as trailer, pero sa loob ng trailer na to, nandito yung tinatawag na frame checksum sequence that includes yung CRC calculation or cyclical redundancy check na ginagamit for error detection. So every media, whether we use UTP cable, Ethernet UTP cable, Ethernet fiber, wireless Ethernet, meron silang kanya-kanyang CRC calculation. Okay. So yun ang ginagamit nila to determine kung corrupted ba yung frame na nare-receive doon sa network interface card natin. Okay, again. So, the Ethernet frame, this is the internal structure of the Ethernet frame. Ito yun, the frame. Ethernet addressing. The Ethernet frame includes both the source and destination MAC address to deliver the Ethernet frame from NIC to NIC on the same local area network. So, yung laman ng header natin, ang focus is MAC addressing. Ano? And then we have the Ethernet error detection. So the Ethernet frame includes the frame check sequence trailer, no, used for error detection. So media access. So the IEEE 802.3 MAC sublayer includes the specification, no, for different Ethernet communication standard over various types of media, including copper and fiber. Sama na rin natin dito yung sa wireless, no. So, legacy o yung mga lumang mga naunang technology, no? Legacy Ethernet using hub or using a bus topology or hub is a shared hub duplex medium. Ethernet over a hub duplex medium uses a contention-based access method. Ibig sabihin may competition sa pag-access ng media, paunahan. Okay? And then minsan nagkakaroon ng pagsabay, no, ng pag-access ng medium, nagkukos ng collision. So yung collision na yon will continue to propagate in the network. Kaya naglagay yung mga engineer nito, no, ng tinatawag na recovery mechanism. Ayan, kasi kung walang recovery mechanism dun sa collision na yun, paulit-ulit na iikot sa network yon, or hindi siya titigil, no. So, nung minodify nila yung technology na yan, naglagay sila ng carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. Okay, so ito yung ginagamit to recover sa collision. Hindi nawawala ang collision sa legacy Ethernet, no. Kaya patuloy lang, no. Isa para siyang loop, no. Kapag ka nagkaroon ng collision, then CSMA CD. Ethernet LANs of today use switches that operates in full duplex. So, full duplex communication with Ethernet switches do not require access control, no, through CSMA CD. So, ibig sabihin naka-disable ito, yung CSMA CD per port ng switch natin. So, again, balikan natin yung Ethernet frame, no. So, the Ethernet frame fields. So, the minimum Ethernet frame size daw is 64 bytes. Ito yung acceptable, no? So, ibig sabihin, pwede palang makapagpadala tayo ng frame na 64 bytes lamang. And the maximum is 1518 bytes. So, ito yung tingnan natin, no? Ang frame daw consists of preamble, start frame delimiter. We have the frame checksum sequence. So, preamble field is not included when describing the size of the frame. So, 8 bytes, tanggalin natin yung 8 bytes. Simula tayo sa destination MAC address hanggang sa FCS. Any frame less than 64 bytes in length is considered a collision fragment or tinatawag na runt frames and is automatically discarded by our devices, no? So, frames with more than 1,500 bytes of data are considered jumbo or baby giant. So, ibig sabihin, ang common size sa ating Ethernet is 64 bytes small, yung pinakamaliit, 1,500 bytes yung pinakamalaki, no? So, lower than that, higher than that, considered as corrupted, no? Yan, tapos dinidiscard lamang ng ating mga devices including switch and PCs, no? If the size of the transmitted frame is less than the minimum or greater than the maximum, the receiving device will drop the frame. Drop frame are likely to be the result of collision or other unwanted signals, so they are considered invalid. Jumbo frames are usually supported by most fast Ethernet and gigabit switches and NICs. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, ito, no? Supported pala ito ng ilang mga fast Ethernet at gigabit switches. Pero kung pag-uusapan natin is yung general, no? General including different brands of switches, no? Pag-uusapan doon is 1,500 bytes. So nababanggit din no yung addressing dito uh, sa frame natin no yung Ethernet MAC address. So yung MAC address and hexadecimal no. So ano yan magkasama lagi yan or they are tawag dito. Yung MAC address kasi is hexadecimal. Okay. So kaya pinag-uusapan natin dito hexadecimal. An Ethernet MAC address consists of 48 bits binary value expressed using 12 hexadecimal value. Yan, sige, para madaling maunawaan, let's take a look at the MAC address or physical address of one of our virtual machine. So, command to view the MAC address or physical address of Windows PC is ipconfig space /all, and then take a look of the physical address. No? Here you will see kunyari 0C-22-49-57-00-00. So, ibig sabihin, hexadecimal yan. No? Kung naalala nyo yung conversion natin, so maglagay na lang ako ng text, no. So dito sa portion na na 0C. So yung 0 daw ay yung 0 1 anyway. So, apat na 0 yan, no? So, 0. 0C. Yung C is 1100. So, yung portion na yan. So, 8 bits pala yan. So, yung 22, edi 8 bits din yun. 49, 8 bits, and so on. So, kung bibilangin nyo lahat ng bits na yun is 48 bits. And here, take note of the separation ng 8 bits, no? Kay Microsoft kasi ginamit niya ay hyphen or dash. Sa ibang operating system, ibang symbol ang ginagamit. Kagaya kay Linux, colon. Kay Cisco naman, ang ginagawa niya, kinocombine niya itong apat na hexadecimal, tapos dot, apat na hexadecimal dot, yung separation niya. Pero, wala namang kinalaman yun sa performance ng operation ng ating LAN card, no? So, that is the way lang na ma-represent nila yung physical address. Okay, no? So, an Ethernet MAC address consists of 48 bits value expressed using the 12 hexadecimal value. So, given that the 8 bits or 1 byte is a common binary grouping, so binary zeros, no, and ones can be represented in hexadecimal as the range 00 or FF. When using hexadecimal, leading zeros are always displayed to complete the 8-bit representation. For example daw, 0A. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, leading 0 na una. Ayan. Pero kung tutusin sa calculator, pwedeng wala na yan, di ba? Ayan. Pero, syempre, kung A lang kasi yung isusulat mo, edi nandito yung A. Kaya, dapat kasama to. So, 001010 is represented in hexadecimal as 0A. Hexadecimal number are often represented by the value preceded by the 0x. So, ibig sabihin, yung 0x meaning hexadecimal, tapos 73. Or pwede rin naman daw subscript 16, 73, base 16. Pwedeng ganun yung pagkakasulat or 73H. Pwede naman ganun, no? Yung representation. In an Ethernet LAN, every network device is connected, no, to the same shared media. MAC addressing provides a method for a device identification at the data link layer of the OSI model. An Ethernet MAC address is a 48-bit address expressed in 12 hexadecimal digit because a byte equals 8 bits, so we can also say that MAC address is 6 bytes in length in total. All MAC addresses must be unique in the Ethernet device or Ethernet interface. So to ensure this, yung mga vendor, yung mga nagbebenta ng mga devices, no, must register to the IEEE to obtain a unique 6 hexadecimal or first 24 bits or first 3 byte, no. Kung tawagin daw ay OUI, Organizational Unique Identifier. So dito sa ating BM, yung first 3 byte daw yung 0C 1 byte na yun first 0C 2249, ayan, ano yan, yan yung natawag nating Organizational Unique Identifier. So again, no, para matandaan. Yan, itong portion na ito. So tinatawag siyang yan, or OUI. So ito naman yung second 3 bytes. Yung portion na yan. So tinatawag siyang vendor assigned numbers. So pwede sila mag-start ng 00001 and so on, FFFFE. Okay, hindi kasi pa pwedeng mag-start ng 0, no? Invalid number yan Saka matapos na all F, hindi pa pwede yung dalawang number yun, una at huli. Yan. So an Ethernet MAC address consists of 6 hexadecimal vendor OUI code followed by the 6 hexadecimal vendor assigned value or assigned numbers. So now let's talk about frame processing. So when a device is forwarding a frame to an Ethernet network, the Ethernet header includes the source MAC address and the destination MAC address. So when a NIC receives an Ethernet frame, it examines the destination MAC address to see if it matches the physical MAC address that is stored in the random access memory. If there is no match, the device discards the frame. If there is a match, it passes the frame up to the OSI layers, where the encapsulation process takes place. Take note that Ethernet NIC will also accept frame if the destination MAC address is a broadcast or multicast MAC address group, of which the host is a member. So, any device that is a source or destination of an Ethernet frame will have an Ethernet NIC and therefore a MAC address. This includes workstation, server, printers, mobile devices, and router. So we have different types of MAC address. Unahin natin to, yung tinatawag na unicast MAC address. Sa Ethernet daw, different MAC addresses are used for layer 2. Yan. So meron kasi tayong unicast, broadcast, and multicast communication. Ano yung tinatawag na unicast MAC address? A unicast MAC address is a unique address that is used when a frame is sent from a single transmitting device to a single destination device. So meaning ito na mismo yung MAC address ng ating halimbawa Windows or Linux, no? Yan. So yun yung tinatawag na unicast MAC address. So the process that the source host uses to determine the destination MAC address associated with IPv4 address is known as address resolution protocol. So the process that a source host uses to determine destination MAC address associated with IPv6 address is known as neighbor discovery. So ano yung sinasabi niya rito? So halimbawa, bagong setup itong network natin, may IP address. So nag-issue tayo ng ping, from host 1 papunta sa server. Sa totoo lang, itong host 1 natin, hindi niya kilala, yung server natin. Although nilagay ninyo dun sa ping command ninyo, ping 192.168.1.200. But the host wanted to know who exactly this server is. So, on the background, before it send yung ping message, ihahang muna niya yun. Kasi hindi niya alam kung paano niya ipadadala yung ping Another protocol will take place. So, naka-hold yung ping mo. Then, magbabato siya ng ARP request. Siyempre, tatamaan lahat ng device dyan sa ARP request. Naka-broadcast yun Kung itong switch natin merong 20 computers na nakabukas dyan, tatamaan lahat ng device doon except incoming port, or kung saan na-receive yung ARP message. So anong purpose nun? Ang purpose kasi ng ARP is alamin ano ang MAC address ng specific IP address, O halimbawa, ang tinatanong ni host 1, who is 192.168.1.200? Ano ang MAC address mo? Yan. Para kang sumisigaw sa sa crowd Kunyari, hinahanap mo si Cardo Dalisay, Sumisigaw ka, Cardo Dalisay. Ayan. So, syempre rinig ng lahat 'yon. Kung isa lang naman yung Cardo ron, edi yun lang yung sasagot sa iyo, Nagre-reply siya sa iyo, pabalik. So, kung IPv6 naman yung address natin, yan, sa IPv6, ibang protocol ang ginagamit to determine the MAC address associated to that IPv6 address. Ang tawag ay Neighbor Discovery Protocol. So, take note that the source MAC address must always be a unicast address. Wala na naman talagang source MAC address na na broadcast saka multicast Laging unicast yan galing sa isang device. So now let's talk about the broadcast MAC address. An Ethernet broadcast frame is received and processed by every devices on Ethernet LAN. So the features of Ethernet broadcast are as follows. It has a destination MAC address of all F in the field. So it is flooded out all Ethernet switch port except kung saang port siya na-receive, It is not forwarded by the router. So, ibig sabihin kung may router tayo, somewhere here, sa topology natin, kung meron tayong router, yan, tapos kunyari mayroon pang switch dito, yan. So yung broadcast frame natin hanggang dito lang hanggang dito lang siya sa Hanggang dito lang siya sa port ng router natin. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya lalabas dito sa kabila. Pang local area network lang siya. Yung broadcast, no? So again, it is flooded out all Ethernet switch port except the incoming port. It is not forwarded by a router, no? So if the encapsulated data is an IPv4 broadcast packet, this means that the packet contains a destination IPv4 address that has all binary ones or all F in the host portion. Okay, ibig sabihin, kapartner, no? So, kapartner ng destination MAC address na, or broadcast MAC address is yung broadcast IP address. Yan. Kaya pansinin niyo, di ba, pagka naglalagay tayo ng IP address, nagsisimula tayo sa 192.168.1.1 192.168.1.254. Yun yung huli, no? Kasi yung 255 is invalid number. Yung 0 invalid, hindi rin siya pwedeng gamitin, no? I-discuss ko yun in a separate topic, no? IPv4 addressing. Yan. Pero ayan ay kapartner niya kasi broadcast IP address ito, broadcast MAC address ito. Yan. So ano ibig sabihin nito, no? Sa frame na ito, kung meron tayong destination MAC address of all F and 192.168.1.255, lahat ng device na active sa network sa 192.168.1.0 ay tatamaan ng broadcast frame except the incoming port, no? Or the receiving port. So, kung naalala niyo yung ARP, no? Doon sa example natin dito sa kabila, yung ARP nga pala, ang laman ng frame nun, destination ay all F. Yan. So, sumisigaw siya sa network. Again, ulitin natin. If the encapsulated data is an IPv4 broadcast packet, this means that the packet contains a destination IPv4 address that has all binary ones or 255 in decimal in the host portion. So this numbering in the address means that all hosts on that local network or broadcast domain will receive and process the packet. So next, ano naman yung tinatawag na multicast MAC address? An Ethernet multicast frame is received and processed by a group of devices that belongs to the same multicast group. So ito kasing multicast na to, no? Hindi naman tayo ang gumagawa nito. Ibig sabihin, nakaset na siya sa mga protocols na naka-install sa ating computer. So hindi natin alam, minsan nagmo-multicast na pala yung ating computer, no, talking to other devices for the purpose of checking, for example, yung mga processes, no, applications, no. So there is a destination MAC address of 01005E when the encapsulated data is an IPv4 multicast packet, and a destination MAC address of 3333 when the encapsulated data is IPv6 multicast packet. Okay, so pagka na-capture down natin using Wireshark at nakita nyo to 01005E ang umpisa, tapos random na yung bandang huli, halimbawa ito, so 01005E00, no? 00C8. This is a multicast, no? Sa isang buong network, hindi lahat ng device tatamaan. Possibly mga ilang devices lang siya, no? Specific group. So maaaring may mga grupo doon na member ng ganitong klase ng protocol na nag-uusap on the background, ano? And then ang destination IP address niya, naka-partner niya ay 224.0.0.200. Okay, or 224.0.0 or 224.0.0, no? Yan yung ka-partner ito. Multicast IP address kasi ito. Okay. Kung IPv6 naman ito, na-capture nyo using Wireshark, pagka nakita nyo, destination is 33-33, ibig sabihin, multicast IPv6 packet yan. So, there are other reserved multicast destination MAC addresses for when the encapsulated data is not an IP address. Yan, kagaya sa mga switches, no? Nag-uusap yung mga switches natin, eh. Meron siyang default protocol na STP. Itong STP, didiscuss pa natin ito sa Cisco 2, ano? So, itong MAC address. Kung ang destination natin is multicast MAC address, it is flooded out all Ethernet switch port except the incoming port. Unless the switch is configured for multicast snooping, it is not forwarded by the router. Unless the router is configured to route multicast packets. So, because multicast addresses represent a group of addresses sometimes called a host group, they can only be used as the destination of a packet. The source will always be a unicast address. So, take note of the source, no? 0007E963CE and 53 unicast MAC address. As with the unicast and broadcast addresses, the multicast IP address requires a corresponding multicast MAC address. So, partner yan, no? So, we have the unicast MAC address, may unicast IP address. We have broadcast MAC address, may ka-partner na broadcast IP. We have multicast MAC address, may ka-partner na multicast IP address. So, now, punta na tayo ngayon sa trabaho ng switch natin, ano? Ang switch nga pala natin, under din ito ng data link layer, no? At ginagamit niya yung MAC address for decision making, kung ipo-forward niya yung frame or i-drop niya yung frame. So, a layer 2 Ethernet switch uses layer 2 MAC addresses to make forwarding decision. So, it is completely unaware kung ano yung laman ng data portion, ano? Ayan, so data portion. So the switch makes its forwarding decision based solely on layer 2 Ethernet MAC addresses na nalaman niya. An Ethernet switch examines its MAC address table to make a forwarding decision for each frame. Unlike legacy hub, yung hub kasi kapag naka-receive lang siya ng signal, no? From receiving port, ipo-forward niya yung signal na yun papalabas sa lahat ng port except kung saan niya na-receive. Yan. Pero hindi siya nag-i-store ng MAC address. Wala siyang intelligent na feature na ganun, ano? So when a switch is turned on, of course, the MAC address table is empty. So check nga natin, no? Dito sa ating GNS3. Tignan muna natin. May command kasi tayo sa switch kung tawagin ay show MAC address table. So, naka-idle kasi itong network na to, so walang activity. Therefore, wala siyang record ng MAC address ng Ubuntu sa Windows natin. So, the MAC address table is sometimes referred to as content addressable memory, CAM table, or source address table. Ang dami kasing tawag, no? Depende sa mga nababasa ninyong references, So, ito yung mga terminology, no? We have the media access control address or MAC address. We have the content addressable memory, CAM table, no? Or CAM. We have source address table or SAT. Ano man yung gamitin nyo dyan, no? Yun lang din naman yun, So how does a switch learns about the MAC address and able to forward the frame, no, to the destination? So every frame that enters the switch is checked for new information to learn. So it does this by examining the source MAC address of the frame and the port number where the frame entered the switch. If the source MAC address does not exist, it is added to the table along with the incoming port number. If the source MAC address does exist, ibig sabihin nandiyan, the switch will update the refresh timer for that entry. By default, kapag nalaman daw po ng switch natin yung source MAC address, Mag-i-stay yung MAC address doon for about 5 minutes. So kapag walang activity for more than 5 minutes, nabubura yung MAC address. Yan. Pero kunyari, wala pang 5 minutes, no? Parang pagkain lang, no? Nalaglag, wala pang 5 minutes. 5 seconds pala, no? So pagka wala pang 5 minutes, yung ating source MAC address, tapos naka-receive ulit siya ng frame na same source MAC address, i-update lang niya yung timer, i-refresh niya. If the source MAC address does exist in the table but on a different port, ibig sabihin nito, kunyari yung laptop mo na kubit sa port 1 ng switch, so nalaman na yung MAC address doon, and then inilipat nyo siya doon sa kabilang port number 4, and ibig sabihin niya rito, tapos nag-ping ka uli, the switch treats this as a new entry. The entry is replaced using the same MAC address but with the more current port number. So, ibig sabihin, buburahin niya yung record ng port number 1 at ilalagay niya yung record doon sa port number 4. No? Ganun siya. So, tingnan muna natin. So, dito kasi, using show MAC address table, walang laman, ano? Unless we issue a ping, ano? Lagyan kaya muna natin ng IP address itong si switch, no? So, int VLAN 1 IP address. So, clear ko muna, ano? Clear. Ayan. So, malinis siya. So, punta tayo kay Linux. Tapos, ping natin. Ping 172. Filter natin na 4 lamang na packet, no? C4. Okay. So, naka-receive siya ng ping packet, no? Galing kay Lubuntu. So, tignan nyo maigi. So, ang ginawa ng switch natin, nung na-receive niya, naka-receive siya ng frame, no? Galing sa port gigabit 00 na merong source MAC address ganito. Nilagay niya sa entry. Okay? Tapos, kung ano yung VLAN, no? So, of course, VLAN 1 lang muna sa ngayon. Destined doon sa kanyang IP address. Okay? So, ganyan ginagawa niya. Ganon din dito sa kabila. Kung tayo ay magpiping, no? Ping. Then, show MAC address table. May record na rin siya ng Windows PC MAC address, no? Dito sa port G01. So ngayon, kung itong si Lubuntu ay nagping naman papunta sa Windows, no? Ito mare-refresh ito. Mare-refresh yung entry nito. Tapos since nakita niya yung destination MAC address, ipo-forward niya papalabas ng G01. So, ibig sabihin, kahit active pa yung ibang mga ports ng switch na to, hindi niya ipo-broadcast yan. Ayan. So, unicast frame yung tawag dito, no? So, balik tayo ngayon dito sa ating slide. So, find the destination MAC address for forwarding. Okay. If the destination MAC address is a unicast address, the switch will look for a match between the destination MAC address for the frame and an entry in its MAC address table. If the destination MAC address is in the table, it will be forwarded out the specified port. Paano kung wala? So, if the destination MAC address is not in the table, the switch will forward the frame out of all port except the incoming port. This is called the unknown unicast. So, ibig sabihin kung wala pang record, halimbawa, ganito. So, clear MAC address table. Okay, so wala naman, Tapos nag-issue tayo ng ping. Okay, pero check muna natin ano ba IP address ito. IPA. Ang kanyang IP address is 100. Ang Windows kasi is 200. Although nakita nyo nag-reply ka agad, Nag-reply siya kaagad. Pero on the background kasi niyan, nung dumating po dito sa ating yung frame, dumating dito. Ginawa muna ng switch natin, record muna yung source MAC address table. Then, tinignan niya yung laman ng frame destined to this PC, kaya lang wala pa siya ditong record dahil nag-iisa lang yung pero broadcast to, kung may mga PC tayo dyan, naka-broadcast yun Bo-broadcast niya yun dito. Okay. The rest ng device na hindi naman intended recipient of that frame will just discard the frame. Etong si Windows natin, magpiprepare naman siya ng reply doon sa ping na yun. So, yung frame niya is place niya rito with the source MAC address of Windows, destination MAC address of Ubuntu. Pagdating dito, switch 1 will add the MAC address of Windows 10. And then, nung nakita niya yung laman ng frame na merong MAC address ng Ubuntu, may record na, pinaward niya rito as unicast frame, Ayan. So, hindi niya ipo-forward yun kasi alam niya kung nasaan yung destination Okay, so balikan natin, Nung hindi pa alam, ng switch natin o wala pa siyang record ng destination MAC address, tapos pinoward niya sa lahat ng active port except the incoming port, ang tawag daw doon is unknown unicast, If the destination MAC address is a broadcast or multicast, the frame is also flooded out port except the incoming port. So, inuulit-ulit lang niya, yung mga dinidiscuss natin na ang broadcast, multicast, laging broadcast yan sa lahat ng port except incoming port. So, now, as switch receive frames from different devices, it is able to populate its MAC address table by examining the source MAC address of every frame. When the MAC addresses or MAC address table of the switch contains destination MAC address, it is able to filter the frame and forward it out a single port. Ayan. So, yun yung way niya kung paano siya nakapag-filter ng frame, dahil nalalaman niya yung mga source addresses ng bawat device na connect sa kanya. So, pag-usapan naman natin yung forwarding method na ginagamit ng mga switch, especially Cisco switch. Switches use one of the following forwarding method for switching data between network ports. Meron tayong tinatawag na store and forward switching. In this forward in this method, the frame for frame forwarding method receive the entire frame and computes for the CRC. If the CRC is valid, the switch will look up the destination address which determine the outgoing interface. Then the frame is forwarded out to the correct port. So ibig sabihin nito, yung incoming frame, no, papunta doon sa switch port natin, nakabuffer muna. Nakabuffer muna hanggang sa makompleto niya yung buong size ng frame. Kapag kakompleto na yon, then saka siya ngayon magko-compute ng CRC. Ayan, para malaman niya kung buo or sira yung frame. Ayan, ayun yung store and forward. Yung cut through naman, cut through Ethernet switching. This frame forwarding method forwards the frame before it is entirely received. So, ibig sabihin, makita lamang niya yung destination MAC address. Kung may match doon sa kanyang MAC address table, po-forward niya kaagad, without receiving the complete frame. Okay? So, kaya lang, ang problema dito sa sa cut-through, hindi niya alam na putol pala or may sira pala or corrupted pala yung frame na yan. Pero nakita lang naman niya kasi destination frame or destination MAC address, pero most of Qatari switches nga pala uses store and forward switching na. A big advantage of store and forward switching is that it determines if the frame has error before propagating the frame. When an error is detected in a frame, the switch will discard the frame. Discarding the frame with error reduces the amount of bandwidth consumed by corrupt data. Store and forward switching is required for quality of service. Ibig sabihin niya kapag meron tayong multiple traffic, voice, video, data. Yan. So QoS analysis on converged network where frame classification for traffic prioritization is necessary. For example, the voice over IP data stream needs to have priority over web browsing traffic. Balikan natin yung cut-through switching. In cut-through switching, the switch acts upon the data as soon as it is received. Even if the transmission is not complete, the switch buffer just enough of the frame to read the destination MAC address, so it can determine to which port it should forward out the data. The switch does not perform any error checking of the frame. There are two variants of cut-through switching. Fast-forward switching offers the lowest level of latency, immediately forwarding a packet after reading the destination address. Because fast-forward switching starts forwarding before the entire packet has been received, there may be times when the packet are relayed with errors. Ibig sabihin, nakakarating pala sa destination device na may error. The destination NIC discard the faulty packet upon receipt. So fast-forward switching is typical cut-through method of switching. So mabilis siya, mas mabilis siya kaysa sa store and forward. Yan, kaya lang mas maraming error. Fragment-free switching, a compromise between a high latency and high integrity of store and forward switching, and a low latency and reduced integrity of fast-forward switching. The switch stores and perform an error check on the first 64 byte. Remember, remember na yung 64 byte yung minimum size ng frame, di ba? So because most network errors and collision occurs during the first 64 byte, so this ensure that the collision has not occurred before forwarding the frame. Pero maganda pa rin ang store and forward. So pag-usapan naman natin yung memory buffering. So an Ethernet switch may use buffering technique to store frame before forwarding them or when the destination port is busy because of congestion. Meron tayong tinatawag na port-based memory. In a port-based memory, frames are stored in queues or pila that are linked to a specific incoming and outgoing port. Ibig sabihin nakapila yung yung mga frame. A frame is transmitted to the outgoing port only when all the frames ahead in the queue have been successfully transmitted. It is possible for a single frame to delay the transmission of all the frame in memory because of a busy destination port. So this delay occurs even if the other frames could be transmitted in or to open destination ports. Next, we have the shared memory. In a shared memory buffer, frame or shared memory buffer deposit all frame into a common memory buffer shared by all switch port, and the amount of buffer memory requires by a port is dynamically allocated. The frame in the buffer are dynamically linked to the destination port, enabling a packet to be received on one port and then transmitted to another port without moving it to a different queue. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, mas maganda yung shared memory buffering compared dun sa port-based memory buffering. So, shared memory buffering also result in a larger frame that can be transmitted with a fewer drop frames. Yan. So, bihira yung nalalaglag na frame or nasisira na frame. So, this is important with asymmetric switching, switching which allows for different data rate on different port. Ano ba yung tinatawag na asymmetric switch? Kung naalala nyo yung Catalyst 2960 natin sa Bayrock, meron doong dalawang separate na gigabit port, diba? Tapos 24 ports na pass Ethernet. Yung tinatawag na asymmetric, magkaiba ng speed ng port. So therefore, more bandwidth can be dedicated to a certain port. For example, sa server ports, yung mga gigabit. So pinag-uusapan din natin yung forwarding, yung pag-access ng media. Of course, nandiyan yung speed, saka yung direction ng traffic. So duplex and speed settings. So two of the most basic settings on the switch are the bandwidth, minsan nire-refer as speed, and the duplex settings, for each individual switch port. It is critical that the duplex and bandwidth settings match between switch port and the connected devices. So there are two duplex settings used for communication on Ethernet network. Yan, yung full duplex, both ends of the connection can send and receive simultaneously, so therefore walang collision. Half duplex, only one device on the connection can send at a time. So check nga natin ang settings dito sa switch port natin. Show in G00 switch or G00. Automatic negotiation for duplex, automatic negotiation for speed. So in G00 tapos duplex, question mark tayo. By default, naka-auto siya. Yung Windows, Linux natin, naka-auto rin yung set nun eh. Ibig sabihin nun, they will negotiate to kung ano man yung, halimbawa, ang switch natin, gigabit yung kanyang port. Ang kable na ginamit natin, category 6, gigabit din yun, tapos yung LAN card ng PC mo 100 Mbps lang, pero naka-auto negotiate. So yung switch at yung PC magne-negotiate sila to use only 100 Mbps. Okay, pero full duplex, they can send and receive at a time, o at the same time. So if I configure this interface as half duplex, I will introduce a collision. Okay, so ibig sabihin one at a time yung transmitting dyan sa port na yan. Laging magkakaroon ng collision, therefore naka-enable dyan yung CSMA CD. So ako pagka nagsiset up ako ng network, hindi ko na ginagalaw yung duplex. Yan. Pero si Cisco may recommendation na naka-full duplex daw for server saka port ng switch, Yan. Auto negotiation is an optional function found on most Ethernet switches and NICs. It enables two devices to automatically negotiate the best speed and duplex capability. So check nga natin sa Windows. Yan. Dito, no? Sa properties ng ating LAN card, meron ditong link, speed, and duplex. As you can see, naka-auto negotiate siya. Dito kay kay ano to, kay Windows PC to, LAN card. Tapos doon sa switch natin, naka-auto negotiate din siya. Okay. So check natin, no? Anong speed natin. So 1 Gbps. So they negotiate for full speed, full wire speed, ano? Yan, 1 Gbps yung ating PC, 1 Gbps yung cable sa GNS3, 1 Gbps yung port natin sa switch. Okay, tapos full duplex, no? So, duplex mismatch, one of the most common causes of performance issues on 10 by 100 Mbps Ethernet links. It occurs when one port on the link operates at half duplex while the other port operates in full duplex. This can occur when one of the both ports on the link are reset, no? Or auto negotiation process does not result in both partners having the same configuration. So it also can occur when the user reconfigure one side. So check nga natin, no? Halimbawa, pinaglaruan yung settings sa network natin. So naka-half, naka-full, no? Manual half duplex dito, naka-full dito. Check muna natin yung status ng link natin. Yung G01, no? I think this is G01 eh. So G01 naka-up siya, no. Halimbawa napaglaruan ng isang user G01 duplex half. Ayaw niya, no? Speed 100. Ayaw niya i-unset. Dito kaya sa PC. Naka-auto negotiate kasi switch natin, no? Kaya hindi nag-X yung connection natin dito. Pero let's check status. Ayaw niya mapalitan, no? Walang option. Pero sa tunay na device kasi, meron tayong option doon na i-pull ito or paglaruan, no? Pati yung sa device natin na PC. This is virtual environment. I don't know kung iniingatan lang nila na mag-crash yung system, no? Pero pwede dapat yun na mapalitan dito na half duplex manual, full duplex manual. Pero mangyayari magda-down yung interface ito. Kasi nga meron duplex mismatch. So walang connection na mangyayari, no? It is also can occur when the user reconfigure one side of the link and forget to reconfigure the other side, no? Both side of the link should have auto negotiation on, or both sides should have it off. Best practice is to configure both Ethernet switch port as full duplex. Sa tunay na device yan, ano? Pero again, ako pagka nagsiset-up ng network, nagle-layout ng network, hinahayaan ko lang naka-auto negotiate. Wala namang problema yung mga users doon, eh. So yung switch natin merong feature na automatics, ano? Kung naaalala ninyo, kung legacy networking ang pag-uusapan natin, when we connect switch to switch, crossover cable. Okay? Pero sa mga bagong technology ngayon, no, usually wala nang gumagamit ng crossover cable. Wala nang gumagamit ng crossover cable. Ang ginagamit na po ay straight cable na lang, ano. Kasi sa straight cable, lahat ng port 8 pins pala, no, nagagamit. Sa crossover cable, 4 na pins lang yung ginagamit doon. So each wire or 4 na wire doon sa crossover cable, total lang nun 100 Mbps. So if you connect gigabit switch to gigabit switch using crossover cable, hindi nyo ma-utilize yung full wire speed na gigabit. So since may MIDIX naman, nakaset na yan, eh, MIDIX auto, no, sa bawat interfaces, straight cable na category 5E para gigabit speed yun na utilize natin, no? So connection between devices required the use of either crossover cable or straight through cable. The type of cable required depended on the type of interconnecting devices. A direct connection between a router and a host requires crossover connection. Most devices now supports automatic medium dependent interface crossover or automedics feature. When enabled, the switch automatically detects the type of the cable attached to the port and configure the interfaces accordingly. Kung kinakailangan niyang pagtapatin yung pins na transmit at receive, no, gagawin niya yun. So the automedics feature daw is enabled by default on switches running the version 12, no? Ngayon version 15 na tayo ng operating system, eh. However, the feature could be disabled. For this reason, you should always use correct cable type and not rely on automedics feature. Automedics can be re-enabled using the Medix Auto. Kung gusto nyo i-disable, pasok kayo sa isang interface, no Medix Auto. Okay? So yun, no? Na-cover na natin yung buong topic ng module number 7. I hope this recording helps you understand, no, yung Ethernet switching. Okay, so thank you for listening and viewing or watching of this recording.